guys, it's Jessii Vee. So, fun fact, I actually filmed this whole video last week. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know why it wasn't posted last week. Basically, I filmed for like an entire hour, and when I uploaded the footage to my computer, I saw that all over my teeth I had bright red lipstick. And I'm not talking like a little stain, like something small that wouldn't matter. I am talking about 5 of my teeth were completely bright red. I don't know how I didn't notice it when I was filming, but it wasn't until I uploaded my footage that I was like, there's no way I can post this. Like, no one would take it seriously. Everybody would be so concentrated on my mouth that no one would actually hear like the content of the video. And you guys were so sweet because all of you were like, oh my gosh, you should still post it. Like, we don't care if your lipstick is all over the place. We'd still love the video. And I love you guys for that. But trust me, the lipstick was way too distracting. So here I am filming again, which is fine because honestly, I love talking about Snow White and how weird it is if you really think about it. And you know what? Maybe this video will be better anyways. Maybe I'll have more input for the video the second time. But before we get into the dark truth about Snow White, I want to just show you something if you haven't noticed already. It's around this area on my body, around here. So I have come out with a new merch piece that is yet another necklace. And instead of a mermaid this time, it is a profile of a unicorn, which I love. I'm gonna try and get up close because my camera does focus now, so don't mind me like shoving my neck into the camera. But it's so sparkly. Look how pretty this is. Oh my gosh. And at the very back of the necklace where the clasp is, there's actually a Jessii Vee alien charm, which is so cool. So these are available on my merch website right now. They are limited edition because we only have a certain amount of stock. So keep that in mind. And yeah, the link is down below. And I love this. I'm gonna wear it all the time. I've already gotten like 12 compliments on it just from going to the grocery store, so anyways. So let's get into the dark truth about Snow White. Now, I first want to say that this movie was my like whole childhood. Whenever I went to my grandma's house, we always watched this movie, so I've seen it like a gazillion times, and I absolutely love it. But I feel like when you watch it back as an adult and when you research the internet about this movie, a lot of people have noticed some very dark themes with it, and also just some weird and strange things about the movie. So we're gonna cover it all. If you have not thought about these facts yet, then you are in for a surprise. But maybe you've also already known about these facts, so we'll see. So the very first question that kind of blew my mind is, isn't she supposed to be 14 years old? I didn't realize this when I watched it as a kid, but if you look it up online, she's supposed to be 14 years old. So I don't know about you guys, but I think she's a little bit young to be living in a house with 7 older men and just kissing strangers. She's literally looking after a house all by herself in the middle of a sketchy forest. Why are these dwarves not helping her find some nice parents to take care of her? Like, don't they see this young girl in the middle of a forest and say, wow, maybe we should get her some help. Maybe we should take her to the town where someone could actually look after her. Like, does this not clue into their brain? They're just okay with having this random girl live with them? They don't think it's wrong or weird? And this sort of ties into the next question that I think myself and everyone else has. Why is the huntsman trying to rip out the heart of a 14-year-old? I mean, doesn't he have anything better to do? And I know it's because he loves the evil queen or whatever, but I mean, can't you be the voice of reason? Like, why can't he go to her and be like,
hey my love, do you want to go wine tasting instead or something? Like, there are so many other fun things we can do rather than chasing a petrified teenager through a forest.
Better yet, maybe find someone better to love, dude? Imagine a Thai came to me and he was like,
hey Jess, so see that dude over there that's a little bit better looking than me? Yeah, we can't have that. Bring me back his eyes.
No? I don't know. I just don't see his logic in loving the queen when she wants to like get rid of a teenager, you know what I mean? And that's a really dark part about the movie. Like, when you're a kid and you're watching, did that really sink in how wrong and like dark that is? Because it's not until now that I look back and I'm like, wait, this movie's for children? The next point that a lot of people are confused about online is, why is her makeup game so strong? Think about it, 90% of the movie, she's pretty much far away from civilization, hanging out in a forest cabin. Where is she getting all of this makeup from? She has eyeshadow, mascara, eyeliner, red lipstick. She has it going on, and I mean, good for her. I just want to know where she's getting it from and how it's happening. Like, I'm going to Sephora every single month to restock my makeup collection, and she just just has like an endless supply. Not to mention, why does she have to get all like fancied up anyways when she's basically out camping? And she's like 14 years old, like calm down, like chill. Fun fact about me, I didn't wear makeup until first year of college. In high school, I wore like eyeliner sometimes in maybe grade 12, but I did not wear like foundation, lipstick, anything, eyeshadow until I was in college. Not saying you have to do that, but I'm just saying, like, if she's 14 years old, like relax, like enjoy your childhood, you know what I mean? Next point, can we all agree that the part where Snow White is running through a dark forest with eyes everywhere, wasn't that the scariest part of your childhood? Because it was for me. That scene terrified me as a child. Why would they animate something so scary for 5-year-olds? Did they not think that would give infants nightmares? Like those scary like eyes looking through the trees at her were so freaky. Why? I'm pretty sure that when I was little, I had my dad fast forward that part because I never wanted to see it. Okay, this next point. Why is she talking to the animals? So I know that we all talk to our pets sometimes. Like I even get this weird high-pitched voice when I talk to my dog Winnie. But the difference is we don't expect them to reply back, right? Unless you're like literally crazy. At least most people don't expect that. But Snow White acts as though the animals answer her. And listen, if they actually spoke in the movie, this would be a totally different story. Like that would be okay. But they almost look extremely confused as she tries to communicate with them. Like imagine walking through the forest and seeing this girl sitting in the middle of the bushes asking the chipmunks about the weather. I'd call the police. And like I know it's a Disney movie and like princesses talk to animals, but in a lot of movies they reply back to her, but in this one they just seem like normal animals, which makes her look crazy because the animals never talk once in this movie. The next point, why did she wander into a stranger's house and then immediately fall asleep? And I get she was lost in a forest and had no shelter, but I feel like if I was in her position, I would like wait outside the door to the house until someone got home. I would never go to sleep in someone else's bed that I didn't know. Because when you're sleeping, you're in such a vulnerable state. Like what if a really creepy, dangerous dude lived there and he came home and you're just like there sleeping? Also, just adding to this point, why did she start cooking and then take a nap right in the middle of cooking? Like remember in the movie she woke up and she was like, oh my gosh, I left the pots burning on the stove. Well, duh, maybe don't take a nap in the middle of cooking tuna casserole, if you know what I mean. Like maybe I'll just go cook some chicken pot pie later and take a nap 20 minutes through cooking it. The house definitely won't burn down or anything. The next point, why does the queen's magic have such inconvenient gaps? I found a lot of these points online as well. Here's what doesn't make sense to a lot of people. The queen has powerful enough magic to conjure up and control a talking mirror. She can create a potion that will poison an apple without making it look suspicious at all. And she can transform herself into a creepy old lady. But she can't make herself prettier than one teenage girl. She can't survive falling off a cliff, and she can't make her curses kiss-proof. Like, what kind of Disney villain are you? I feel like Maleficent and Ursula had the same problem, like their curses were broken by a simple kiss. Like, you would think when you were making this curse, you'd be like, oh, abracadabra, this curse will never be broken no matter what. Like, why? Why a kiss? Like, why is that the only way? And it's really strange how Disney always made that a trend. Like, a kiss will save your life. Like, why is that always a trend? The next point, why is the dwarf's house so small? And listen, there's nothing wrong with living simply. There's nothing wrong with living in a small house, but there's literally 7 guys living together in one home. So it's gotta get a little bit cramped up, right? They are literally sharing the same bedroom. That's a problem. Especially because they're what, in their 50s, 60s? They're adults. Like they have white beard, like old people, facial hair, right? They're adults. Like I know that by the time I was like 17, I was ready to just move out on my own, and these guys are just packed in one bedroom. Like I need my space, you know what I mean? Are they not feeling the same way as I'd be feeling? Which sort of brings me to my next point. Couldn't they just keep some of the jewels that they mined for themselves and create like a forest mansion? So they work all day in a mine with no one else there and no cameras. And listen, I'm not saying it's okay to steal. I would never say that. But it seems like they're the only ones mining there. So they must have started the business. They never have a boss looking over them. So I feel like they're the ones who found those jewels and they're the ones who mined them. So why not every once in a while take some for yourself since you're working so hard and get like a bigger house or something? I've always wondered that. Like there's jewels everywhere. everywhere. There's like millions of jewels in that cave, and they can't just be like, hey, you know what guys, I think we deserve to have one today. The next point is, why did Doc get to have a normal name? His brothers' names are unfortunately Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Dopey, Bashful, and Sneezy. Like really, who the heck names their kids that? And what makes Doc so special to have a regular name? Does it stand for like doctor or something? Because that'd be pretty cool. Do you think his brothers are jealous of the fact that he's so normal? And think about it, that might be why Grumpy is the way he is. He's jealous of Doc. He's jealous that his parents clearly have a favorite. And also Doc seems to be the leader type guy. So he has the cool name and everybody has to obey him. Sounds like a great time. Sounds like these dwarves are in a really good situation. Also, why is Dopey the only one without a beard? I have always wondered this. I also tweeted this a few weeks ago because I was so confused. And I know it's not an extremely important fact about the movie, but I've still always wondered this. Is he the only one that actually looks good clean shaven, or can he literally not grow one because maybe he's actually 7 years old? These are questions that might never be answered. It's just, it wouldn't make sense that he's really young, because I know a lot of you guys, when I tweeted that, you were like, oh, he's just super young. But then why is his other 6 brothers like in their 50s and 60s? Like, it'd be impossible for their parents to like wait 50 years and have another kid. That doesn't make any sense. Like, they'd always be around the same age. Like, they're all old. They're all older people. Unless I'm totally wrong and I have no idea what I'm talking about. The next point is one that I know everyone has always wondered. Why the heck would she just eat an apple out of a strange woman's basket? Like, let's not kid ourselves here. The evil witch looks terrifying as an old lady. She does not look like a normal cute little old lady. She looks scary. Imagine that showing up to your front door like,
hey, want to eat this suspicious looking apple for me?
I would close the door, run upstairs, and hide under my bed for 3 days until I knew the coast was clear. Not to mention, she's currently living in a cabin in the middle of the forest. Like, there's no sign of people for miles and miles. And suddenly, out of the blue, little Miss Witch shows up with the basket and suddenly you're hungry for her apple of death. Isn't she suspicious as to why a random person found the cabin that's hidden in the middle of a forest? Wouldn't she be like,
hey, why did this lady wander so far from town just to give me an apple? Isn't that weird?
And another thing, didn't the dwarves tell her before they left for work,
Hey, make sure not to open the door for strangers.
so she clearly went against that. I mean, the whole thing just frustrates me. It really frustrates me. But hey, one of the good things about this film is maybe it's teaching kids not to just take things from strangers. Maybe it's teaching kids, hey, don't open the door to a scary old lady. Like, maybe this is the one good moral of this entire movie. The last question that I have that is also a very dark part of Snow White, and I think we all wondered this one as well. Why did the prince kiss somebody that literally looked dead? She was in such a deep slumber that the dwarves thought she died. She was basically placed into a glass coffin, and he just wanders up like,
Oh hey, she passed away, let's see what her lips taste like.
I mean, excuse me, tell me where the logic is. Imagine stumbling across a dead person in the forest. I would call the police. I would be terrified if I saw that. People don't just go to funerals and start making out with the person in the coffin. Oh my gosh, that's a horrible, ugh. Also, where was the consent here? I've always felt so weird about the fact that Disney portrays that you need a man to save you, and it's not ever really a man that you know well. It's always like a stranger, like this random dude that's like,
Hey, I'm here to save the day, but I have to kiss you first. Hey, you're dying? Come here, pucker up. Oh hey, you don't want to be poor anymore? Better get it on me.
I don't know, I've never been into the whole prince thing. Like, even as a kid, I noticed a lot of girls in my class were like,
Oh my gosh, Prince Charming.
I never was into the Prince Charming thing. Like, no, never. Anyways though, those are all of the weird things that a lot of people found about the movie that I found weird about the movie. It's just a lot of childhood movies that we watched as kids have some very dark elements in it, and that's why I really enjoy this series, because it's kind of cool to go over the things that maybe you never noticed as a kid. Anyways though, if you enjoyed this series, definitely give this video a thumbs up, and if I forgot to mention something weird about the movie, definitely comment it down below. Whoops. Also, don't forget, if you would like this unicorn necklace, it is available down below in the link in my description. And yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!